And as I said earlier, as I showed you the one in the pot, these can get quite large. And when I say quite large, today we're going to talk a little bit about Ficus benjamina, which is a plant that will start relatively small and can get relatively large. A great multi-purpose plant. My name is Kim and I'm from the Tye-Dyed plant team. And starting off with a ficus that's relatively small, we keep them here in these plugs. When we do some cuttings from our larger ones, we'll go ahead and we'll take the stem and we'll go ahead and do the plugging. And you can see this one is growing quite well. It's got great root growth and it's probably ready to be transplanted into something larger. Ficus has nice bright green leaves. They pretty much stay this color. The plant itself likes to have mottled light. Direct sunlight for a full day is not going to do well for it. It doesn't do well in the shade either, so partial light, partial shade works well for it, and it also likes to be moist. We have it in a few places here in our shop, in vivariums, and in another location. I'll show that to you here in a little bit. Its leaves are textured. It's almost like looks like a little bit of a rubber plant. As a matter of fact, if you were to snip it, sometimes a little bit of latex-like will come from it. If you intend to take your ficus and put it into a habitat where you have animals, just make sure you're putting it in one where animals are not going to be leaf eaters and eating the leaves here. Sometimes, while it won't be toxic, it'll be a little bit upsetting. So in that kind of environment, it will be okay. Animals that are not going to be eating the leaves. It grows relatively slowly, but relatively vigorously. If we took this plug and transplanted it into a pot, probably in a month or two, this is what we would have. And from here, it'll start to get large a little bit quicker. You can see the stems here are getting to be tree-like. So this is a great plant that you can put into a larger vivarium, or if you wanted to use it as a house plant. Again, making sure that it gets the right amount of light. It does like to stay relatively moist, probably water it twice a week, depending upon what kind of heat and light it's getting. And a light spray or a light mist on the leaves works well also. Now, as I was saying earlier, depending upon the size of the plant, if you're looking to put it in one of your vivariums, it can work pretty well, again, depending upon the size of your tank. You can see we've got quite a difference. So we're going to walk over to one of our vivariums right now and show you how one of these smaller ones fits in there quite well. Here we are at one of our smaller vivariums, and we have taken one of our smaller ficus in a plug and actually gone ahead and put it toward the back of the vivarium where it fits quite well. You can see we've got two pieces of cork and there's a little hole in between the cork, almost like a tunnel. So I'll just move this coffee plant a little bit to the side and you can see where we have our ficus in the back. It fits in here quite well. It's between the two pieces of cork and you can see there's a little opening, almost like a gateway by the two pieces of cork, and this adds a little bit of a texture and a little bit of feature there, almost like it's guarding the back side of that entrance into the cork area. These work quite well in a vivarium. If you happen to have it in a habitat where your animals are not going to be eating leaves, it's very decorative in that particular sense as well. And as I said earlier, as I showed you the one in the pot, these can get quite large. And when I say quite large, 4 to 5 feet tall. So if you were to take something like this ficus and put it into a larger pot, keep it well maintained, give it the right amount of light, give it fertilizer maybe once a month, it'll get to 2, 3, 4, perhaps 5 feet tall. Works well as a house plant, making sure it's not in direct sunlight. In the summertime or from spring to fall, actually you could bring it outside and then come the October timeframe, bring it back inside. Anytime you do bring a plant from inside to outside, from outside to inside, there will be a little bit of a setback. It may have some yellowing leaves or it may drop some leaves. That's okay, it's a natural thing. Your ficus is susceptible to some bugs, so you need to be careful watching in the nooks and crannies, especially here in between branches, for a little bit of a spider web. That would be spider mites. And those are pretty nasty. They're really, really, really small. But if you see what looks like a spider web, be looking for spider mites. Sometimes on the back of your leaf, you'll get a little white spot that looks cottony. If you touch it, it's a little bit sticky. That's a mealybug. You need to be careful of the mealybugs as well as the spider mites. Those aside, this is a great plant. Everything from the tiny plug that I showed you all the way up to a 4 or a 5 foot indoor house plant. Ficus benjamina, great plant for vivariums, great plant for your house.